They're full because when their soul is taken from their body, they take nothing with them. But the poverty of their soul, the nakedness of their soul goes before God. And they have nothing to offer to the Lord. And they can't identify with God. Because they made their stomach, they made their bank account, they made their barns their God. The rich man in the gospel today, he didn't possess many things. Many things possessed him. He was certainly a foolish man. He was blessed. He could have been a good steward. He could have thanked God. Thank God for all the blessings he received, for the rich crops that he had. But his barns weren't big enough. And the grain that he put in the barns, it would rot. In other words, he should have given it to somebody who needed it. He could have given it to somebody that was poor. He could have distributed it to his friends or his neighbors. But he didn't. He only thought of himself. He was the center of his own world. It was I. When you hear the gospel, look how many times it says, I will do this. I will build further barns. I will say to my soul, eat, drink, and be merry. You have many provisions stored up for you for many years. You have nothing to worry about. But those barns are my security. Can we identify with this rich man and his barns? Yes, we can. We might not have those barns. We might not have that plenitude of material wealth. And say, well, it doesn't apply to me because I'm not in that position. But oftentimes we desire to be in that position. That our disposition is like the rich man. That we want to accumulate and accumulate. We accumulate just for the sake of accumulating things, but not spiritual things, but only material things. Those things that give us pleasure. Those things that give us a false sense of security. Those things that think will extend our life. But the measure of our life is in the hands of the Lord. When the day comes, our soul will be taken from our body, according to the good will of the Lord. And it doesn't matter what we possess. It doesn't matter what friendships we had. It doesn't matter what plans we had. It doesn't matter what we have accomplished. The question is, what is the character of our soul, of our inner life? Is it rich toward God, or is it very poor? We go in life, and we're only concerned about ourselves. We put ourselves first. We ignore the two great commandments, to love the Lord God with all your heart, all your strength, all your soul, all your mind, which means all the time. But we don't do that. That we put so much emphasis on ourselves, on our plans, on our achievements, on our agenda, on our education, on our wealth, on our family, on our entertainments, on those things that we think are essential for our life. And then we get confused. We get confused because we have so much things that we don't even know what to do with them. More than half of the clothes in our closet we don't wear. That the toys we haven't used them in years. That the possessions that we have, that they're there. They have no use for us anymore. But we still accumulate and accumulate. We're still materials. We still have to put something on the calendar of something that we need to buy. Something we need to secure for ourselves. Something that we think will give us happiness. And when this thing doesn't satisfy us and give us happiness, then we do something else. Or we have long-term plans. If the happiness is not in ourselves, we want to make sure it's in our children or our grandchildren. And so we do everything for them. But do we do anything spiritually for them? Do we do anything spiritually for ourselves? The person who's not a believer in Christ would hear this gospel today and they would say, what's the problem here? That the man was wealthy, it was his money, he didn't say he got it by illegal means or anything else. He was free to do what he wanted to do. If he wanted to build more barns, he was entitled to it. After all, it's his possessions, it's his property. It's his. He earned it, he worked for it. He was a good capitalist. This is who he is. What's the problem here? Again, the problem is there was no interior life. There was no spiritual life. When there's no spiritual life, we could be accomplishing things materially in our life. We we could have the good clothes, we could have the nice cars, we could have the beautiful homes, we could have the good education, we could have all those things. But spiritually, we're zombies. We're the walking dead. Spiritually, this man in the gospel, he died before he died. He died in his soul. He didn't have spiritual reality in his life anymore. He was completely impoverished spiritually. He had no spiritual sensitivity. But what was the irony of it? He says this, my soul, we have many things prepared and stored up for you. He talked to his soul as if his soul was alive and his soul was already dead. He's a real fool, and that's why the Lord called him a fool. But we have to be attentive to make sure that the Lord doesn't call us a fool on the judgment day. Because if we go before him, he's not going to say, what did you possess? He's not going to say, what was your education? He doesn't going to say, what were your degrees, what were your accomplishments, what was your bank account? He's going to say, what riches of soul do you have? What virtue do you have? Were you generous? Were you kind? Were you loving? Were you pure? Were you charitable? Were you wise? Did you have courage? Do you have fortitude? Do you have wisdom? Is there anything here that you could show me? The gospel account of the parable today shows us a man who is spiritually insensitive. And when we are so concerned about what is material and give very little thought and very little time to the spiritual, we begin to spiritually die. And we don't even realize it. Like the man in the gospel today, he didn't realize that he already lost spiritual life. And he thought everything was okay. And he thought that the provisions, eat, drink, be merry, you have many things for many years. Those many years that he had was cut short when the soul was taken from the body. And for eternity, what does he have? What does he have? He has nothing. He's a nobody. Let us not be like the man in the gospel today that give our time and our energy and all our thought and all our aspirations and all our intentions and all our action to what is material and what is passing away. There are certain needs we need to take care of. The Lord knows that. But the priority in our life should be what is spiritual. This man could have been redeemed in the gospel today if he was wise and had spiritual sensitivity. He could have said, the blessings I have, I'm going to share it. The Lord has blessed me so abundantly, and now I will give to others what the Lord has blessed me with. He didn't do it, he couldn't do it. He was a fool. Let us not be a fool like he was a fool. The Lord says that's where, in the gospel, where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be. That's where your love will be. The treasure that we should have in our heart, the treasure of our soul, is the presence of God, whom we love with all our heart, all our soul, all our strength, all our mind, all the time. Amen.